Okay, so start with the mission statement. Our mission here is to create the greatest group of professional traders compiled in the world. We work tirelessly every day to improve our individual selves and push each other to get the most out of one another. With each individual's personal accountability, 100% effort, and consistent action towards focusing on our controllables, we will reach our full potential individually and as a family. Pledge. Stefanos, pledge to be the best version of myself today, to do whatever it takes to be the greatest trader that I can be, and to be the most self-disciplined person that I know. I will do the things I have to do today, regardless of how I feel, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. I will control what I can control and not worry about anything else. Reminders, we do not overtrade, we do not over-risk. You don't need to catch a trade today. 1 to 2 trade ideas per day, 3 if you see a perfect setup. Today's Friday. We have some economic data coming out, right? University of Michigan consumer sentiment, inflation expectations, retail sales, a lot of good stuff coming out. So we may be able to grab some nice trades. But again, remember it's Friday. You don't need to catch a trade today and just be smart. Stick to your plan. Capital preservation over capital appreciation. You want to keep your profits for the week, right? Or you don't want to blow even more than you've lost this week if you've had a tough week. Keep your trading plan in front of you. Read it before every session. Make smart decisions. Trade what you see, not what you think. We are system-oriented, not how much money can I make on this one trade. Think longevity, think efficiency, think long-term. We aren't here just to make as much as we can this week. We're here to get better as we go along throughout our career. We're here to become better traders over the course of our lives every single day. Have a sense of urgency today. It's Friday. I know you guys want to get into the weekend, so get through that daily must list as quickly as you can, right? No entertainment. Get off your phone. Just get that stuff done, because that phone is your biggest distraction for most people in today's society. So get that thing away from you. It's the enemy. It's the one thing standing between you and success. So throw that in the other side of the room. Get through your daily must list, get that done, and then you have the rest of the weekend where you can kind of relax and obviously have that daily must list for the weekend where it's not as intense as during the week, but you still are getting some stuff done, reviewing. Carlos, we were going over that yesterday, reviewing your week, seeing how you could be a better trader the next week, seeing how many pips maybe you missed this past week, and what you could be doing better to optimize your trading days and trading sessions. Finally, most importantly, eliminate excuses in any victim mindset. Full accountability for your actions. You're where you are today because of your decisions. You're where you are today because of the actions that you've had in the past 6 months. So now, whatever you do today and whatever you do tomorrow over this weekend is what's going to affect where you're going to be in the next couple of months from now, or then even the next couple of weeks from now, right? So depending on what that is that you're doing, sometimes depending on what it is, it could be affecting you in the next couple of weeks, or depending on what it is, it could be the next couple of months. But again, what I was just going over today was the economic calendar and what I was just talking about. Core retail sales coming out today for the U.S. So this is a big focus for the week, other than the inflation data, CPI, PPI. Later on today, we got University of Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. What we were talking about yesterday, too, was the fact that we've had later volume throughout the day, right? We're not only just getting volume around 8:30, 9 o'clock, we're getting volume from 10 all the way till around like 12 o'clock. Now, again, it's Friday, but just keep that in mind as far as like potential moves that you could be getting. And again, that doesn't mean you can trade 5-6 times throughout the session. It still means stick to 2 to 3 trades per session. I really recommend 1 to 2. But it does mean that you can stretch that period out, and you can wait a little bit longer before you get like that main move of the morning. And you know that 10 o'clock hour, 10:30 gives you great volume most of the time. So that's for today on Friday. Let's look at our pairs over here. We'll start with GJ. All right, GJ looks like right now the monthly has retraced a little bit. Right, we were pushing up here yesterday morning, and we are retracing just a tad right now. Right, so we're still sitting around that 166 level. Move you guys over, sitting around like 166 right now, rejecting that area multiple times as we have with that wick, and then these candles to the left. But looking at the weekly now, monthly really doesn't change too much. Weekly, we could mark this level off, as that's pretty important. 166. A psychological level. We did push into 166,800 yesterday, and right now we're sitting right back below it, right? But again, we are bouncing off this previous resistance and support right now, which we're holding, right? So strong weekly candle. If it closes like this today, unless it retraces, but if it closes like this today, I could see the next one creating a bottom wick, passing the high of that candle, and continuing right up to 168 over here, which would be nice. Again, all based on market sentiment and what the central banks of these countries are going to be doing, right? And again, this week, as you guys have seen in indices and gold and all the risk on currencies, you've seen that we've had a very positive week based on everything going on in the world, right? There's kind of panic in the world, but not as much as there have been in the past couple of weeks. This week has been a nice little rebound, as you've seen specifically with US 30, especially yesterday. Looking at the daily now, the daily, what I'm going to do is mark this off. We'll be able to mark it off a little bit clearer as we go down, but looking over here, you get that resistance to the left, multiple rejections of that area over here. You could really make this level a little bit thicker. We'll see that in the lower time frames, but right now we are rejecting that area, right? We have been in this bullish trend over here, and now we're in a trend within the trend right now. And like I said yesterday, we were due for a pullback after this price action, right? After that price action, at some point, you got a previous resistance here on the daily. Price could come all the way back down to that area before continuing right back up. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it could, right? These candles are strong right here. This candle's fairly strong as well. Then this one's getting weaker. So one passes the high of it, flips bearish, closes bearish. This one created that top wick. It's now bearish, tapped into this area right over here where we are holding some kind of a support. But are we going to actually hold that support to continue up and bounce off that key area? Or are we going to pull back even more to continue up, or even more down to this area as well? Looking at the 4 hour now, I'm just going to make sure we got these levels here. So with this level right here, we can kind of make fairly thick right over there, right? We got plenty of rejections of that area, kind of consolidation in that area as well. But that's your most recent resistance, as you've had that clean move all the way up to that area. We've had a fairly clean move coming up this way as well, especially after breaking this resistance. But right now, we're holding this area right now that we broke, we talked about in the beginning of the week here, and how important this area was. This was that order block that we've been pushing off of. Let me zoom in. Been pushing off this area multiple times. Nice push. We pull back to the same area, hold the same support, push up to create a new high. We pull right back into that level and then continue right back up. I'll talk about the trade. I gained 40 pips on this trade. If you guys remember during backtesting, I was talking about the trade that I took from this level to look for the same exact move that I got right here to retest this high, but it ended up stalling out over here, and I was able to grab 40 pips. I left a solid runner to continue right back up, but ended up getting stopped at break even with, I believe, this candle. Yeah. So now looking at the this price action here alone on the 4 hour, what we can see is that we had this previous resistance right here. Just going to draw this thinly. And we held a support here 3 times on the 4 hour. Once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times over here. So 4. Then we got a strong bearish candle close right over here with a wick to fill. That's a very strong close right here. This candle is now rejecting the area and starting to possibly flip, right? So are we going to continue back down into this key area a little bit more, where we have around from current price action to that support, you got about 38 pips. Can that possibly happen? I could probably see it. We are still bullish, right? Safer sells will be below this area. But at the same time, I could see us possibly getting a move over here based on the 4 hour low. Now you're starting to see over here the 1 hour. Look at this 1 hour candle tapping into this whole area right here, right? And now rejecting it. Can this 1 hour close that same exact way? Let's see how the 30-minute just closed. There we go. I actually like this move a lot right now. I actually may end up taking this. Let's take a look. Just want to go back up to the higher time frames again. Yeah, you got clean moves over here to the left and a nice low that we can retest. We haven't been able to do it over here, but this price action tells me that we can. So I'm just going to enter this right here. Where did I enter that? 725. There we go. Gonna put my stop loss safely above here, above that wick. You're still gonna get more than a 1-to-1 over here. You got 1.42 to 1. Hopefully this 30-minute candle closes like that. But if we start holding some kind of a support and breaking previous highs, or maybe getting a 30-minute bullish close, that's where I can close partials. But right now we are rejecting this area, and I do like it right now with that 730 volume. There's a good chance that we do end up retesting this low down here and possibly continuing down even more. Right, we've been pulling back. Been pulling back from these highs over here that we created, creating these lower lows and lower highs now. Right, and that's a beautiful rejection right there. That this is the setup that we look for a ton. Right, nice break and retest. Low created, hold that resistance, liquidity grab, strong 30-minute close, top wick form, pass the low. Typically, I would like to enter right here, but we're going to enter right here. Actually, I'm just going to put my stop entry right there on that candle. Does this make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Is anybody else in this?
It's pretty much like you do like a break. It's like a break and retest, right?
It's perfect, yeah. Yeah, these are the setups I like to take quite often. What was that US 30 trade I lost yesterday? Short J on 4/14 23 at 7:35 a.m. Friday, New York. And 65944 is my stop loss. 165944.
For break and retest, quick question.
Oh,
So
yep.
you wait until a bearish candle, and the second bearish candle you take it on?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because
Now
you
with
don't
this,
know where it's going to stop. It's gonna go to retest, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that last part of the
You
question.
don't know where it's gonna retest to.
I don't know where it's going to retest to.
Yeah. Or do
As
you?
far as up here or down here?
Up here.
You're saying I don't know where it's going to go.
You know when to take it on the second bearish candle.
Yeah. I mean, when you get price action like this during London, right? And then we get the pullback during pre-New York, and now the New York volume should be pumping in over here. This thing, after a candle like that close, that's a strong body and a liquidity grab, right? We passed the high of the previous candle, and you got like this wick right over here, which normally gets filled. This thing, most of the time, 70 to 80% of the time, we're at least going to retest these candle bodies right here.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm not comfortable enough putting my stop loss just above that candle right there. I'd rather have it up there where I have plenty of room to manage risk.
Perfect.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
It's bouncing off a key level. Previous support over here, right? And this trend line as well. This whole area is pretty strong right here. Just what was I just doing? Just want to take a screenshot of the daily. Again, this all plays back to these higher time frames over here, and how we're due for the pullback on the daily. The Friday pullback. A lot of buyers took profit up there. Now it's starting to exhaust. The 4 hour, the daily lines up, the 4 hour lines up as well, right? We're playing the flip of this 4 hour candle. Previous 4 hour candle closed a strong bearish with the wick to fill, correct?
Mhm.
So this 4 hour candle has an hour and a half to close. So it's got an hour and a half for this thing to flip. 4 hour. And again, not every single setup is going to play out. Like, we don't know if this is going to play out. And you don't need to know if it's going to play out to be a successful trader. You don't need to know what's going to happen next. One thing that you'll read in Trading in the Zone is all you need to know is probabilities. And that's what will keep you sane within trades is probabilities. Now, this thing may not drop until 8 o'clock, because I could see the 1 hour closing the way it is right now. 1 hour. Right? Like, we could have, what we could have done looking back on this now is we could have maybe waited for this 1 hour to candle to close. But I typically trade on the 30-minute anyway. And we got the 30-minute close, top wick formed, and passed below the candle. It's not like we just entered after that 30 close. So we label low created during London. What I would just not like to see is the whole London move get corrected during New York, which sometimes happens too. But with this setup, I don't think so. Two beautiful liquidity grab at previous support, now holding resistance in key area. Three pulse after what? Okay, that's our 30-minute. Like I said, I could see also the 1 hour kind of just like closing like this. The next 1 hour candle may come up and create a top wick and continue right back down and then fill that area. But again, our stop loss is in a very safe space to account for that. If you put it too tight, then the trade might be the right direction, just the wrong trade, the wrong stop loss, all that stuff. Just take a screenshot of the 15-minute. See, this tells me hopefully what we can get right here on the 15-minute. That was that previous resistance right over here, right? Now what we ended up getting was a close above that area. So price continuing up. Then we wanted to tap into this area right here. Then you get that strong bearish candle close. What we could do and what we could have done was wait for this 15-minute to close below this level, which would then show us that we're getting now a fake out on the 15-minute. Right? Because if we get a fake out on the 15-minute, we've taken this setup many times before, where now the 15-minute ends up closing below that area and continuing right back down from here. Right now, it's holding some kind of a support, but it could just be pulling back, grabbing liquidity. Am I the only one in this, or are you guys in this too?
No, I'm live back testing it.
Cool.
Hey,
You're in this, Lenny?
no,
Okay, you're just live back testing?
yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, like I said, if my trades don't make sense to you sometimes, it's okay to stay out. Right? I want you guys to only trade what makes sense to you, because if you're taking every single trade that I take and sometimes they're a loss, or I can explain to you why I lost it or why the trade was a loss, but at the end of the day, you're not really going to know why you took it or what you're doing, because you're only taking based on my bias. And that goes for every single live stream. So you aren't like if you're on anyone's live stream and someone calls out a trade, make sure that it's a trade that makes sense to you. Now, I don't like the fact that the 15-minute candle closed bullish above that support right there, right? But at the same time, I could potentially take some percentage off here. Let me just keep going back up. Just contemplating if I want to take some off after the 15-minute closed. But what it could be doing is just pulling back into this area, holding a resistance, and then continuing down. I don't want to micromanage it just yet. Again, I got plenty of room in here that I could manage it. I think if the 1 minute closes above this area right here, then I can manage risk. Because then you're breaking that structure. I should take a screenshot. See how we're kind of rejecting that area. Five-minute. There we go. So the 1 minute is giving us another lower high right here. Like I said, if we close above that level, this is where like just understanding price action and the way candles print, knowing like how to manage on these lower time frames instead of trying to micromanage your trade. Even though I'm trading, I'm managing on these lower time frames, I'm not micromanaging because I'm letting this thing run a little bit and giving it a chance to hold this resistance to then continue right back down. If we close above that area, then I got to close a certain percentage. Probably going to be 50%. Also, if you take a look at the yen over here, how the yen is like pulling back over here. Yen's been creating. If you see like how we've been creating these lower highs on GJ the past few days, or since yesterday, I think. Yeah, since yesterday and the day before, we've been creating these higher lows here on the yen. And now the current yen 1 hour candle over here has pulled back before the open. And now today, once the open happens at 8 o'clock, if we can hold this support and continue to drive up, GJ is going to continue down. Or it should. Everything makes sense. Does anyone need more explanation?
No, it makes sense, bro.
Ask away, brother.
Yeah, everything makes sense. I was just looking at yeah, I was just looking at cause like so like so you wouldn't say it's like in like a bullish uptrend?
So currently on the 15-minute it is, right? But the 4 hour, look at the previous 4 hour close right over here. This candle barely has a bottom wick, and it created this top wick over here, but also like just more so the price action. Hard pullback, low created. We pull back over here with some weak bullish closes, you got like that you know, this would have been a nice like impulse volume push if we created a top wick here past the low to fill that wick. Again, we're still bullish. Safer sells are going to be below here, right? But at the same time, after getting a close like that and then a close like this with a wick to fill, now it's creating that top wick, retesting this area. May have been better to be a little bit more patient on this, but now it's going to continue down and hopefully flip bearish to retest this area again and then continue down. And now we were able to get the high risk, high reward sells from this area instead of down here. There's times to do that and times not to. And this is a time that you could certainly take this. So remember the anatomy of a candle. You know, if it's a bearish candle, the first thing it's probably going to be doing is maybe create a small bottom wick, flip bullish to create a top wick. Yeah, it's going to create that top wick in the first half of the candle. Second half of the candle, it's going to start flipping bearish over here and then continue down. And then towards the end of the candle, it's most likely going to retrace a little bit, leaving a wick on the bottom. So it's going to open up right here, push up to create that top wick. It's going to push down to create a bottom wick, the bottom range, and then it's going to pull back over here to close right in this area. So that's what's happening now. We're in this last 9 minutes of this candle. It created that low on this 1 hour candle. Now it's starting to pull back to create that bottom wick. Now the next candle, most likely, if we get a strong close, could create that top wick, break the low or flip bearish, then break the low and then continue down. That's why I'm staying patient with this, because I know that I probably should have waited for the 1 hour to close, but the 30-minute did look good too. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah, for sure.
Carlos, you were having trouble with journaling, right? Or you wanted to know, you know, how I do this?
Yeah.
Okay. What confuses you?
All right. So honestly, you see where you're at right now. Like I got all that, like I got all this down, like how to you know, label and whatnot. I guess like the only thing that will confuse me, I guess, like how to organize my journal. Um,
For
because
each card or like the columns?
yeah, for I guess for like right here, like my description. Okay, so you would like put the description like as far as what you're thinking in this box right here, right?
Yes, everything that's going on through my mind. Think of yourself as like a war general, and you got to write about your mission of, you know, what you guys just went through as far as like the battle you just had. So it starts at the beginning, how the battle ended up starting out, right? What sparked it? Who shot who? You know, all that stuff. I know that's very intense to think about when it comes to just a simple trade, but like for this trade, it's like, you know, what's going on through my mind? Like, okay, so I usually start with the daily looking like it's starting to exhaust. I start with the daily, I start with the higher time frames. I drop down, you're just like journaling to yourself, down to the 4 hour to see a nice setup and strong 4 hour bearish close with a wick to fill during London. We then got the next top wick retesting the previous support, and at the time of my trade it was looking like it was starting to flip bearish. So that's the basically just the description of the daily and the 4 hour right there, right? Carlos.
Okay.
And then what I do is now I'm talking about the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we actually go back to now the 1 hour. We got the low formed during London, tapping off a previous key area, but then 3 consecutive bullish candles pulling back to the previous 1 hour and 30-minute support. The entry 1 hour candle grabbed liquidity and flipped bearish, looking like we're going to retest the low formed during London. All right. So now, as you see, it's starting to continue down here. We got 4 minutes left for this 1 hour to close. Most likely, we're going to get a strong 1 hour close here. Now, looking at the 30-minute, now I start talking about my entry. This is just the background of the trade. My entry was and this is also like a personal thing. So it's like my entry was as we were breaking it down. So I could remember what we were doing here. Breaking down was as we were breaking down GJ at the beginning of the stream. Taking a look at how the previous 30-minute grabbed liquidity and passed and flipped bearish, closed bearish. Next one created top wick and passed the low, which is where I entered. Now, you know, I just broke down everything that I saw. Now I'm gonna break down what I thought. The entry was good, but looking back on it, price, I could have maybe waited for the 15-minute to complete the fake out setup and close below 165,750. It ended up pulling back on the 15-minute and holding support there. But then continued bearish last 5 minutes of the hour. Okay, so like it's all my thoughts of what I was going through. Why didn't, because again, we only have screenshots here, right? We don't have like the play-by-play of how this thing is moving. We don't have the video of this other than if we go back and rewatch it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to describe to yourself like what you're thinking. Like, why didn't I secure risk right here? Right? I could write down over here. I was also looking at the 1 minute, which I have a screenshot of, and saw how price was holding the same lower high resistance at right over here, right around 828, 830, 165, 830. At 165, 830. I would have managed risk if it what's it called? If price closed above this price point, but it never did. Continued drop from here. Okay, so that's everything I have so far. Right, typically I just do this after the trade, but it is smart to write this out while you're in the trade. But I'm just on the live session with you guys, so it's a little bit difficult to do so. But now what I do is, now that the 1 hour candle closed, that's a strong close, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so now what I do is take a screenshot of the 1 hour because the 1 hour just closed. So again, because you don't have the live price action when you're reviewing your trades, the best thing to do is take as many screenshots as you can when things tend to happen. So now that's a beautiful 30-minute close. We should be retesting that low now. Again, we're playing based on probability. We don't know if it's going to retest that low, but there's a great chance that it actually does. Now, that's what keeps you in the trade. That's what keeps you entering these trades and executing, instead of like staying back and being like, damn, I don't know if that's gonna retest that low. I'm not feeling confident about it. I'm just gonna stay out of this. Now, there's a time to do that. That's good, right? If you guys didn't feel comfortable with this, you're not gonna take it, right? But if you do feel comfortable with it and you're just like, I don't know if that's gonna happen exactly, and I'm not thinking about probabilities, then you gotta figure out how you gotta execute. So I just take a 30-minute. Is the 15 minutes, so we just completed the fake out over here. There could be a chance where this comes back up into this area and then continues back down, but there's a good chance after that liquidity grab and strong 15-minute close, we should break through this support and at least retest these candle body lows. And that's where I'll be securing. Now, Carlos, this is going to be on YouTube. This is going to be a good one for you to go back and rewatch. Again, you could speed it up too. Whenever you have issues with journaling, just go back to the April 14th episode and see how I just did that. But that should have been clear for you. So now you know exactly what to do.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Crystal clear.
Awesome. Lewis, Lenny, you guys good?
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm just looking for these setups in the previous.
What's up?
No, like I understand the setup of the break and retest. Just looking in the chart for the previous ones.
Oh, nice. So you're back testing break and retest.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So this one is a little different. I mean, it's a beautiful setup. Don't get me wrong when it comes to the candle bodies and stuff, but we are still technically in a bullish trend up here, right? Like once we break, I mean, we did close back below this resistance and this previous support with a strong 4-hour candle. Now you're starting to see this 4-hour candle flip, right? But once we break this area, these are going to be safe sells. And when you guys start to get into the point where you're breaking down charts the right way and identifying where the safe sells are, where the safe buys are, where the high risk, high reward buys are, stuff like that, you're getting closer to where you need to be as far as taking the right trades. And as far as being the scalper and wanting to increase your win rate, which is probably the most important thing other than risk management, that's a good place to be. Just choosing the right trades, what to trade and when to trade it, when to secure, where to secure, how much to secure, all those questions that you need to all those little skill sets within the major skill set of being a trader. Those are all the little things that you need to master, and that all comes from just studying previous performance. You could backtest all you want, but all those little skill sets all pretty much come from studying your previous trades and journaling, like I'm doing, like meticulously, like detailed. You guys ever watch The Dark Knight? Len, you're a big movie guy.
Dark Knight with who?
With Christian Bale, who plays Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ever see him like in the cave, or when he's in that underground thing where he's got the Batmobile, all the lights on top.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there with like this big computer with like all these little computers like right in front of him, right? He's so like detailed. I know it's a stupid movie and he's Batman, but he's so detailed as far as like trying to solve these crimes and trying to figure out where these people are. He's being a professional. Like you almost want to think of yourself as Batman, as a trader, like all these little things. You want to be a detective. You want to be a just really detailed in everything that you do, a professional, like an athlete. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys to be like. If you focus on that, you end up making money. If you don't, it's either you're not going to make it to where you want to be, or it's going to take you so much longer. You're going to be doing this for trying to master this thing for 3 or 4 years. You ever hear these people that have been trading for 4 or 5 years and they just still can't get it? It's because they're not doing this stuff. Like I said, I could see this thing pulling back over here a little bit and then continuing back down. Unfortunately, we are getting some news which could give us some positive volume to continue this thing down. They are expecting lower than expected core retail sales over here, and retail sales lower than expected. Same as previous over here for retail sales, but lower than expected for core. And if that's the case, this thing should continue down for the rest of the day. Now, while we're waiting for this, I'm just gonna monitor on my screen over here, but I want to what's it called? Break down gold for you guys too. Now, gold was pretty rangy yesterday. So now looking over here at the monthly over here, again, we're sitting, I have 2,000 really marked off. 2,000 is that sweet spot. 2075 is the all-time highs over here, right? But right now we are breaking through that area on the current monthly candle. Looking at the weekly now, weekly looks exactly the way we said it might at the beginning of the week. After last week's candle closed like that, bottleneck forms past the high of that candle. It's exactly what we said would probably happen, right? So now we're just continuing up. I'm not a swing trader, but it's all these time frames are the same. But now we're starting to meet up with the previous candle body highs here on the previous weekly candles over here to the left. Looking at the daily now. We got all our stuff over here. Okay. I'm just going to adjust that right there. It looks like we're rejecting the previous resistance here to the left, right over here from the Russia-Ukraine conflict, or the start of it at least. And right now, what you could see is a bullish trend within this area, right? And what I'm looking at here is the fact that you guys study channels. You guys know what a channel is, Lenny, Lewis, Carlos?
Yeah.
Channels help you understand if price is really, like, you have an RSI. A lot of people know that as a indicator, knowing where prices are overbought or oversold. I don't use an RSI, but what I can do is really understand based on candles when price is kind of overextended over here. And if you draw this out as a channel right over here, we're starting to get to, especially after this move right over here, and then you're starting to get this price action right here. We're starting to get to a point where we're a little overextended, and we're also tapping into this zone, this supply zone that gold is very popular with, right? So we're very bullish, don't get me wrong, but this is where you can start to predict the market and where it's probably going, knowing that we may be overextended, and this is where you can start to call tops without doing it foolishly, right? You still wait for the price action on the lower time frames, but you can understand where we may be finding some kind of a high up here. But, you know, we're trading based on what we see, not what we think. This is what we think. And we kind of see it right now, but what we think so far is that price could reject, but at the same time, what we see are still higher lows and higher highs, and what's it called? A little bit more dovish of a Fed, not too much, but you know, they are still going to increase rates by 25 basis points, and that's what could be pumping us up over here. But price could be coming back into this area right here and holding a support. What I can see happening here is that, you know, we do this, we tap back into that resistance over there, and maybe we end up getting some kind of a double top over here, pulling back into this area before continuing up, pulling back into here, previous support and key area before continuing up. We could pull back into here, continue up. Like, all these different scenarios can be happening. So you just want to keep that in mind. Look at DJ right now. We are holding some kind of a support right now. Could just be pulling back before news. If we go back to GJ real quick. I don't want to see the 15-minute candle closing above this like resistance right here. We're closing above 800. If we close above 800, then I'm going to manage risk here, right? But we could just be retesting this area. Like I said, that was a strong 15-minute candle and liquidity grab. Could be just pulling back and then continuing right back down from here, which is what I want to see with news. I don't typically like being in these trades over here, not risk-free before the news comes out, but you know, we'll see what we do. I'm willing to take that chance right now. But also, one thing that I was looking at here is the fact that we've held support at this area and bounced off that area in the past, right? That was yesterday, right? So could we be holding that support right now? Also held support right there and bounced off too. But I do think at some point we can continue down here. Just going to take a screenshot of this. Okay, you want to grab screenshots of everything you possibly can here. -15-minute 8:13 a.m. pullback. Okay, back to gold. Okay, now what you're starting to see here is I do have this resistance marked off, but this is our most recent resistance right now. And right now we're kind of like tapping into it. Did I break down the daily? Yeah. So the daily, again, tapping into that previous resistance. This seems like to be a strong one, and I could see price pulling back into that one, holding support and then continuing up maybe. But right now, you're getting like that double top I was talking about we could possibly get on the daily before. Now we're getting that on the 4-hour. And that's a strong bearish candle close right there. Top wick form, respected the high, breaking below this previous support here. And now this thing is flipping bearish, right? So now if we get any kind of good retail sales, we're going to hold support here and possibly continue up into this area again, and then continue down or even through this area back up to 2075 for a nice rally on a Friday. But we'll see. If we get any good retail sales, this thing's going to continue right back down, most likely. But if you go back and read back test the previous retail sales, hasn't had much effect on gold. As especially all the way since December, you'll see that there hasn't been that much of a move after retail sales came out. But what we did get right over here was, you know, got that resistance, and then we just got this lower high formed. And I typically like this setup right over here. I kind of wish this candle had a top wick right there, but I like the fact that we have fairly clean moves to the left. We have that low created. And this candle grabbed liquidity, closed below this level, and flip bearish and close bearish. If this candle creates that top wick, has the low of the previous candle, I like to take this candle back down to that support for around like 50 pips right there with your stop loss right above that candle. Or you could maybe put it right above that resistance, right above 2040. Make sense? That's just like a quick scalp that you could take to retest that low. And this is kind of what I'm looking for on GJ. Right? Low created during London, right? We pull back, grab liquidity during pre-New York, and then we end up retesting that low over there. So that's what I'm looking for on GJ. But I'm looking for a close below this support here on gold. See the 30-minute. 30-minute so far is holding support. So this is what we see so far. We're holding a support. I could see maybe a lower high formed here and then continue down, but got a fairly clean move down to here for about 50 pips, which is the minimum. I would say 60 pips, which is what you're looking for on gold as far as range goes. But right now we are holding that support, and there is no sells just yet. And plus, we are bullish still. We're on a bullish trend here. You see, we're within a trend. All right, creating these higher lows. All right, but now we're starting to exhaust a little bit. It just seems like. So you could see maybe like a pullback down into here. Continue up. You could see a pullback down into here. And continue up maybe. But like I said, I could see this being that limit on gold right now. Before we then continue back down a little bit. But again, some things need to change. We need more hawkish Fed right now for that to happen. Make sense, guys? I don't think I'd be trading within this range right here. Lenny, you good?
Yeah,
What's up?
yeah,
Okay. Any questions?
no.
US 30. This was a heartbreaker, Lewis. I'd still be in this.
Fuck
This-
that I know.
This would be oh no, this was this trade. I ended up closing out of this early because I took the sell on the two sells on US 30 the other day on Wednesday, right? And I'd actually still be in this one too. This would be even bigger, more of a what's it called? This would easily be my biggest trade as far as pips goes.
You would have bought that mansion already, bro.
What's up?
You could have bought that mansion already.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So now looking at this area, Carlos, remember what I was just journaling over here on the 1 minute? This 850 area right here that we held that resistance before. We're now creating a lower high now at 800, and we're getting hard pushes here. So you're seeing the bearish pressure pushing down over here. So that's why I'm staying calm after a 15-minute bullish candle like that, right? We were just pulling back. I didn't think we'd pull back that much, but we're just pulling back so far. And hopefully we get bad retail sales and this thing continues down. I'm just going to take a screenshot here. This is 8:19. 15-minute. Now, are you guys journaling this trade right now, even though you're not in it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Good shit, Lewis. Our goal is to be the greatest group of professional traders compiled in the world. That's what I'm trying to turn each one of you guys into. Some of you guys are already there. Again, I don't like being in these trades before the data comes out, but we're gonna let this one ride. What I could do is actually pull my stop loss down here above the 1 minute right there, which I actually might do. You know what? I'm gonna do that. Right around 850. Let's see. It's probably the smartest thing to do right now. 165, 850. Beautiful. Okay. One minute. Stop loss move down to 850 above 1 minute resistance. Before retail sales release. US. If this was GBP data, maybe I would be a little bit more cautious of this, but since it's US, which still could have an effect on GJ, but I'm just being a little bit more lenient with it. Again, everything makes sense. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So again, I read price action and I try to read it like a book. And what I do like is when you get the same resistance rejecting multiple times here, the fact that we just got that candle right there, if this was like the 30-minute or the 15-minute, it'd be beautiful because I know this one's going to probably create the top wick and then continue down from here. It's the 5 minutes, so it's weaker, so it possibly could not happen. But whenever you get this, we've seen this a couple times this week actually, where now price should continue down from there. And this is kind of how you trade price action before price maybe closes below a support, right? Which would be the safest entry. Say this is the 30-minute and this is what you're waiting for. Whenever you see this in a range like this, but you're starting to see the bearish pressure and candles holding those lower highs here, right? That's where you could possibly take something a little bit earlier. And if you guys go back and look at trades that you're missing and you're seeing like, damn, like you're not really seeing a safe entry on the 30-minute or the higher time frames or like price closing below or above a certain area that you want, that's where you start to look within that range to see what are the hints that are telling me that price is actually going to continue down or up. How are these candles closing? Are they showing me that bearish pressure? Make sense? So we got 6 minutes left for this to come out. Expecting worse than previous. It should be good. 1 minute, 8:24 a.m. And now, Carlos, I already have, what is it, 18 screenshots here?
Nice. Okay. It's like one for every like everything you were thinking?
Yeah, every time, like use your best judgment. Whenever you feel like price is starting to change, or you know, you secure a certain percentage on your trade, or anything may happen, that's where you want to secure some risk. Now, actually, I know, like I said, I don't like being in these trades before the news comes out, but what happened yesterday that we missed this whole move? I'm talking about like the entire move. This drop came after PPI came out, right? So now there were opportunities to jump into this trade after that news came out, which would have been the safer entry. But if we entered this after that camp, this is what I was talking about yesterday, very similar to the price action I was just talking about. Whenever you start seeing these candles right there starting to hold that resistance again, and you're getting strong candles, you could wait for the top wick to form, pass below the previous candle, and drop. And that came exactly at 8:30 when the news came out. So can we get the same exact thing right here? I don't have a TP set, so I'm looking for that to happen. You know what I could do is I could set one of the TPs or one of the entries right down here, and then let the other one run. Carlos, you still above water?
Yeah.
I meant Lewis, my bad.
I was like, yeah, I'm above water, like, because I thought you were talking about since I live below sea level.
True.
Where do you live, bro?
I live in New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
kind of, yeah.
That's funny. Carlos, you're still above water. That's good.
the
Carlos,
news
what are
comes
you
out
gonna
at
do?
8:30, right?
Oh, sorry about that, Lewis. What was that?
The news comes out at 8:30,
Yes,
or
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 8:30. So we'll get this all ready for us. See, part of me just wants to enter more risk right now, but I'm just being that it's Friday, you just want to be a little bit more conservative. But you know what's crazy? I always get these news things. This happens maybe like once every 2, 3 weeks where you see like a teacher having sex with their kid or with their student. It's like, don't they see the other news articles of like other people getting caught doing this and what happens, them going to prison and stuff? Like, don't you know what's gonna happen to you? Like, is this worth it?
dude, my old soccer coach got caught doing that in
Guy or
like
girl?
3 years. It was a guy, and he
Oh, see, that's fucked up. If it's a man teacher with a girl student, that's extremely fucked up. If it's the other way around, it's like, why are you
yeah,
why are you telling your parents?
I know, right? I'm like, bro,
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Shit.
I think there's definitely actually Joe Rogan talks about that too. There we
Dude,
go.
definitely double standard, man.
There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Boom.
Whoa.
Boom. All right, I'm gonna secure piece. So I just secured
Nice.
at the support right here.
That's from news value.
It's from news. So it's coming back to break even right here. Okay, it just flipped and came back to break even. I closed the full thing.
Damn, nice, bro.
Thanks,
Yeah,
bro.
for real. Nice.
Closed 90% of that. See now, again, there's a high chance that we tap into this area, but this is also a key area right here. Right, so you got to understand that we could be getting a hard bounce off that area and continuing up. Now we just wait. Now you can wait for a reaction to the news and see if maybe we could catch something for my second trade of the day. How many pips is this? 18 and a half. Let's call it 18 pips. Stop loss. I didn't move my stop loss. I just closed the full thing at break even. Man, I figured out, I think I was telling you guys the other day, like I figured out a better way that I can be breaking down trades on Instagram, right? Using a software online. It's called OBS Studios. And it looks cool. It's got like my camera there and I can break down the whole trade. I could clip it and everything, but I got to figure out how to like clip our entire session of like all these like little things that I'm telling you guys how to clip that for Instagram. Actually, 850. I never moved it to break even, so we'll keep it there. Wow. Closed full at break even. Okay, so I don't even know what the data came out to. What do we get for retail sales? Ooh, shit. Not good US data. Worse than expected for core. Retail sales, worse than expected as well. Negative 1% for the month of March. So that's not good. Okay, so take another screenshot here. Okay, now Carlos, you watching? Now after the trade is finalized, all I got to do is like this was the main title. All I got to do is edit it a little bit. So short GJ plus 18 pip gain on the date is already there and the time is already there. And then I just label it. It was a win. And I could have said like run over stopped at break even though I did it manually. And now I just make that my cover. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then I would just go into here. Once news came out worse than expected. It dropped 18 pips to the previous low where it closed 90% and it closed the full thing after it snapped back quickly to entry. Good trade. That's it. This journal's done now. Okay, gold. Where did gold end up? Look at that. What did we just talk about, right? I guess I was breaking this down. Oh, okay. So I broke it down over here on gold. On the wrong chart. That's okay. So gold is pulling back, like I said. It's 2000. Make that a little bit thinner. Holding that previous resistance up top here. See that to the left. Hour. Knew we were a little exhausted. 1 hour, grab liquidity, flip bearish, pass below the previous candle. Question is, where are we going to come down into? Yeah, we're just ranging in here. I'm not going to touch that. US 30's pulling back a little bit. If we could get a close below this area, may get a fake out. With US 30 being a little overextended, I could see a little Friday sell-off after retail sales came out. Right? So if we could close below that area on the 30-minute or the 1 hour and hold that area as a resistance, I could see this continuing back down, but we'll see. All right.
Yes, sir. That's that for say US 30.
This is US 30, yeah.
All right.
So if US 30 can close below here, everything depends on this level, right? So wait for that close below, wait for the retest, and then you might be able to take that down because you get the clean move to the left and bad data. But we may see a correction on US 30 to end the Friday. A lot of people taking profit up top here, around 34,000. So being that it's Friday, we got back testing at 11 a.m. So I got some work to do, so I'm going to let you guys off a little bit early. But I will see you guys at 11. I think that was a nice little live session. You guys got any questions, let me know now. And if not, I will see you at 11.
All right, man, for sure. I'm gonna see you later.
Okay. Lewis?
All right, bro. Yep.
All right, brother. No questions. Lenny, you good?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, we'll see you guys then.
All right, man.
Cheers, boys.
Peace.